I want to tell you this scary story time from Mexico. I was maybe like 10 years old, and I would always go to Mexico for vacations. My grandparents have like a ranch, and they have animals. For example, cows, horses, sheep, chickens. One time I went to go see the cow. I noticed that there was one missing. I didn't think nothing about it because I thought that maybe my grandpa sold it. So nothing really came across in my head. Nothing bad came across in my head, you know. And I just went back home and I didn't say nothing again. Later that night, we heard like a big boom, and we all went outside to check, and it was a cow's head, just like the cow's head. It was like right on our driveway. My grandma and my grandpa, they were like really pissed. They were like, who was playing this stupid game on us, you know, like this joke on us. So we never found out. I went to go play with the chickens, and I noticed that there was this chicken that was acting really weird. It was just standing like on the corner, staring at the wall. It's like staring at the wall. And again, I didn't think nothing about it. I just brushed it off and didn't really think about it much. So I go back inside the house, and I come back outside again. I go inside into the chicken's pen, and I noticed that chicken wasn't there anymore. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And so then I go running into the house, and I tell my grandpa. I was like, Grandpa, did you grab a chicken from the pen? And he was like, no, Wendy. Why? I was like, because there's one missing. And then so he comes running outside, and he starts counting the chicken. He's like, oh, you're right, there's one missing. And so he gets more infuriated. He gets really pissed. He gets really mad because somebody is messing with his animals. Later that day, I went to the store, and on my way to the store, I glanced up, and there was this man that was walking towards me. He had like a hoodie, black hoodie on, and he was wearing a cap, and he kept looking down. And I just looked away, and I noticed that he glanced at me, and I glanced at him, and he kept looking down. And when he walked past me, he felt like so cold. It gave me the chills, like, ooh, you know, like, ooh, that guy's pretty cold, you know. I go to the store. I buy, you know, junk food. Probably it was chips. When I get back home, my grandpa said that a guy came knocking at the door, and he said that I had dropped money on the floor and that he was just turning it in. I was like, oh, that is so weird, because the only money I had was a bill, and it was on my hands. It was like on my hands. Like, I had no pockets on me. There was no way that I could have dropped money. I couldn't stop thinking about that all night. I was like, that is so weird, because I did not drop money. That guy was lying. This is where stuff starts to get so creepy. In Mexico, my grandparents have the restroom separated from the house. Like, they have this whole other room. You have to walk out to go to the restroom. So I walked out to the restroom. I glanced. This was dark. This was like it was 9. It wasn't that late, but it was dark already, and it was like 9 p.m. And I glanced to my left side, and I see this black shadow like walking by. I was like, what the hell? And so then I slowly start walking to the exit door, and I go because I'm really curious to know who's outside our house. And then I go, and I see like a thin guy, all black, walking, like if he had something on his hands. I go back inside, and I tell my grandpa what I had just seen. He went outside to check on a flashlight, to check on his animals, because his house was surrounded with animals, and he noticed that he was missing another chicken. And so now my grandpa is really pissed, and he wants to get to the bottom of this. He starts asking neighbors, family and friends if stuff like this is happening to them, because somebody is missing with our family, with our animals, and he is so tired of it. He wants to know who is stealing all his animals, you know. They all tell him, no, we haven't had a problem. If we see something, we'll let you know, like we're gonna keep an eye on strangers, So I asked my grandpa, I was like, Grandpa, do you know that guy that came knocking to our door? And he said, no, I do not know him. I had never seen him. Time goes by, I go check on the cows. 30 minutes later that I got there, I see the same guy again, but this time he was waving at me. He was like, and I was like, me? I was like, are you calling me? I start walking towards him, and there was nothing behind him. So I was a small kid. I was like 10 years old, and I was walking towards him, and out of nowhere I hear my grandpa yell at me, Wendy! Then he's yelling at me, Wendy! And so then I turn around. He's like, where are you going? I said, oh, he's calling me. And I didn't see nobody. He's like, what are you talking about? Who's calling you? And I was like, the guy. He was right there.